Pistols are your secondary firearm in CBRO. They are in your second slot at all times unless you throw it away by pressing G. The first round, everyone only has enough money, 1,000 or 800 in com, to spend on pistols, hence the name pistol rounds. By common sense, these pistols are usually weaker than rifles and SMGs in terms of damage, movement speed, accuracy, you being bad at Counter-Strike, and the useless part of the weapon adds up. However, when you're saving or ecoing, one of the best ways to eco is to save is by buying pistols. And what comes to mastering pistols is mastering your damage at eco rounds. Even if you have a standard pistol like the P250, even if you master them, you're able to inflict some serious damage. Like for example, you get that one tap on the guy and still resolve. It all comes down to mastering pistols, in which a lot of CB beginners sadly don't practice on. So in this video, I'll be covering all pistols in Counter Blox, in particular in great order, because every pistol in Counter Blox is basically useful and powerful in its own right. Main pistols in CB that you spawn with, and it's considered to be a freebie. So let's start with the T side of the version, Glock 18. It has 20 bullets in the magazine with 120 bullets in reserve. Sadly, it does a crappy 11 damage to armor players and 56 to armor players. It's basically shit. It's basically just shit. This gun is available only on the T side. Also, a fun fact is that the Glock 18, despite it being free, is able to one-tap armor players at close distances. This gun is basically a freebie. You get one free as a terrorist at the start of the round. And for some reason, you had to buy the Glock again. I don't know. It's up there for $200. In competitive games, this gun is really all you need. Since in COM, players can't buy armor with a helmet, which is 1,000, and the starting money you have is 800. So it's already good enough to one tap for free. However, in casual, I don't feel recommended to use this gun to do its trash armor penetration, and I very much prefer the other pistols instead for pistol rounds. Fun fact, the Glock with right click is able to grant you a burst fire option, which means that it fires 3 bullets at once and has a cooldown. The only other known weapon to have this is the FAMAS, which is a rifle, but we'll talk about that in a later video. As well, the PX4, the equivalent of the Glock 18, but from the CT side, does the same amount of damage, headshot penetration, and their differences are basically down to the decimal, which is who wants to know that? But it only has a 12 in the magazine with 24 in reserve. The USPS is right about the same, but with a suppressor, which I'll explain about its difference in a future video. So stay tuned for that. At the same time, the suppressor can be taken off, but I don't see the reason for doing so because the suppressor's advantages they gave the weapon are ruined for no other advantage. Okay, so the dualies, the dual Berettas, or the budget RA is the gun that basically got its damage as just like the CZ, but we'll get to that later. It's a gun that is used for both sides. It uses its two handguns for double fire rate and has 20 bullets in a magazine with 120 in reserve, which is much more than you need for a handgun. Fun fact, the dualies have the highest running accuracy in the entire game, which means that it's really good to run a gun with. And also, it costs for only a measly $300 and can be taken down a unarmored rush in competitive. However, if you don't like these high risk, high reward stunts that the DEAGLE and the dualies actually excels in, there's also another option in CB, which I personally enjoy more in the same price, but I would say that it would suit for better play, for more attackive or more less organized playstyles. A solid fact is that the dualies were actually only made for terrorists in Counter-Strike Source, which is basically the older version of Global Offensive, which all we know today. favorite guns in CB is the P250. The P250 is basically, in my opinion, good in all ways. It does a luxurious 86 headshot damage to players with helmet, only for a measly $300. It's also suitable for comp and casual alike if a person wants to go for the extra firepower during a pistol run. At the same time, it's available on both sides, so I'm able to toss and turn with any weapon that I want. As well, you will need to be able to use this in eco or safe rounds where you want to save up for a weapon. At close range aim duels, no matter what the opponent has, with right shots and the recoil being almost as low as the Glock gives you a good chance. However, this gun has only 13 bullets in the magazine with only 26 in reserve. As all pistols should be, the accuracy is not the greatest and it is not recommended to use at long distances. Still, a really great buy, and I would love to arm it with something like an AWP if I'm faced on low close distance situations, which the P250 excels in. Section of the pistols is really a mouthful with 3 pistols, one on CT side, one on T side, and one for both sides. Basically the CZ, the 5.7, and the KEC 9. Let me start with the 5.7. The 5.7 is purchasable only on the counter-terrorist side for $500, only $200 more expensive than the P250. It's already dealing an advantage than the P250, as the weapon gives a nice 20 bullets per magazine with 120 in reserve. It also deals high damage at close distances and fixes what the P250 lacks, its accuracy and amount of bullets. However, the 5.7 also trades these for recoil control. I mostly prefer this to a scout with a rifle, but with an AWP if you're feeling nice. So the KEC 9, the terrorist side equivalent, has really quite rubbish accuracy, but deals enough damage to make itself worth. It works as more as an aggressive weapon and for only $500, and is also used for an eco as well. Still, I only use it in rushes, and I don't personally attach it with the KEC 9, but I would choose it over the P250 if I see it in the ground because of that damage potential. Okay, but still, this gun is the best when it comes to rushes. Like for example, you have to rush a longer dust too. If you get a bunch of friends, if you get a bunch of armor, if you get a bunch of smokes and flashes, then you're probably going to excel in it if you do it right. And now let's go over to the CZ. And basically, yeah, the CZ or the CZ75 Auto is actually a almost unknown piece of weapon in the CB community. Many that pros know but don't touch it, and beginners not knowing about it at all. The weapon has a 12 bullets in the magazine with only 12 in reserve. So yeah, at the same time, it has a rubbish recoil pattern that's hard to learn and not recommended to learn because it's too time consuming and doesn't give you any benefits to it. And also another fun fact, the CZ or the CZ is the only pistol to be truly automatic, despite and most of these pistols are either semi-automatic or have a burst fire option like the Glock, and its fire rate is able to compete with full-blown weapons like the AK-47. The damage that comes from the CZ is not by its single damage like the rifles, but the damage that comes to its fire rate. With its luxurious fire rate that is comparable to the rifles at short distances, it's basically a killing monster. However, you should only use it when you are at close quarters situations and close quarter maps, and when you know the enemy team is stacked with rifles to make your decision worth it. Again, this gun is a very high risk, high reward gun, and I would slot it in for the KEC 9 when I feel like I'm trying to go for very high risk positions. Not a gun that I recommend, but I recommend checking it out to see if it fits to your playstyle or not. Now on to the since it's actually the Desert Eagle but shorter to just Deagle. And also, fun fact, apart from the snipers, R8 and the AK, the Deagle is the only weapon that can one-tap out to enemies with helmet, and at a price difference of more than $2,000 as well, if you're not counting the R8. This gun is probably the best pistol in CB. This gun, even to armored enemies, can do 50 plus damage to the body and a one tap to the head, and can ruin. And this gun in a tap, in single click, can ruin the most well clip of players in a single clip. Imagine you had an M4, you had the smokes, you had flashes, you had everything that you needed for world domination, and it just dies right in front of you by a Deagle user. But then still, why is it not used, you may ask? Because of its recoil and accuracy that makes it nerfed. See, the Deagle is actually a very skill-based weapon. In most situations, because of the high recoil cooldown that it has, you will only get 2 to 5 shots at the player, and if you do not clear that player at least small amount of shots at a small amount of time, you're basically dead. It's basically a clutch weapon. You have to put in so much work to be comfortable with it. To be honest, I'm not comfortable with it myself, and I'm still trying to improve at how to one vegan, but probably will not, because gun comes with skill, determination, experience. You have to learn a different set of counter blocks to how the 1%, the 10% of counter blocks pros live in this game. However, at the same time, this is always its mostly forgotten brother, the R8 revolver. It's standard mode where you have to hold your left mouse to shoot, but there's also a fanfire mode where it would shoot instantly like modern weapons, but it would lose a lot of accuracy. I mean, a lot. You can't even shoot people at close range with this. Also, fun fact, the damage cost to a player with the R8 is the same with the Scout, also calling it a pocket sniper. It only has 8 bullets in the magazine, with as well 28 in another 8 in reserve. And basically this faces the problem with the P250 and more so like the CZ. That's not enough. In my thoughts as well, I feel like it's great with the one tap potential, but with like the Deagle, but you also need practice with it as well. However, I feel like it's better to take the safe route and invest your time into the Deagle rather than the R8, is because it's more beneficial, but then you're able to use it if you want. However, I don't recommend mastering it. SOC like the CZ, its bullet capacity is too low to actually use it for an entire round, much as like the use of the Deagle, which has enough rounds to last for an entire round. God, it's been a long time, a long crazy video, and it's been a fun time making these myself. Now I'm gonna go and study my butt off for like the quiz, and we'll probably work on another YouTube video afterwards, but no promises though. But I will hope you enjoyed this video. It took some time to actually create this video, so sorry for the delays. After of all these setbacks, of all these things of y'all making the video, I wish you a jolly good day. My name is Prof, and yeah, to send out the message, good vibes everyone.